Born in 1971, around the corner from good friends Liam and Noel Gallagher of Oasis fame, Holly Wainwright always knew she was too big for Manchester. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Too rebellious, too cool for university, Holly missed out on both Oxford and Cambridge, likely because she never applied. But alas, Holly was a free spirit, waiting for her Prince Charming to ride in on a fancy horse. Or rather Brent to pop by in a pair of pants with too many pockets and sensible hiking shoes. It would take a move to Australia for Holly to truly find herself. She backpacked. She worked in tabloid magazines, which she feels slight shame about now, given the whole paparazzi stalking women thing. But you live and you learn. And you know what? You probably bought them. And also it's where she earned her PhD, Gwyneth Paltrow. First came Matilda, then Little Billy. And then Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt got married, which isn't directly relevant to this story. What is relevant is that around the same time, Holly went into a place called Mamamia for an interview with a lady named Mia Freedman. Also born in 1971, Mia Freedman grew up in Sydney's eastern suburbs, which is similar to Manchester in no way at all. It's also worth noting that Mia actually has a Wikipedia page, unlike her less famous co-hosts.
That's fancy. That's fancy.
As a 1-year-old, Mia was observed by a child psychologist who was bamboozled. This child, the psychologist reported, would not stop chatting. Some might have considered early intervention. But at that moment, Mia knew one thing for certain. She was brilliant. As a child, she had a compulsion to change outfits at 9 a.m. and also 11 a.m. and maybe also at lunchtime. Mia was a star. At what specifically, no one could say. It wasn't acting, it wasn't singing, it certainly wasn't sport. She knew she just needed to be discovered. Finally, at the age of 24, Mia was properly discovered. She became the youngest editor in all of the history of Cosmopolitan magazine. She'd made it, she'd arrived. But then Mia got a bit bored and left, and then got a job at Channel 9, where she had to wear black pantsuits, which was the first sign she was in the wrong place. The second sign was when she got fired. With 2 children and 1 yet to be born, Mia was unemployed and hit rock bottom. That's when she started Mamamia. The business grew and grew until one day in October 2014, Mia felt like making one of those podcast things she'd heard about. On the floor of the boardroom with 2 colleagues, she recorded the first episode of Mamamia out loud. It was terrible. Co-hosts came and went, and then one day she met Jessie Stevens. Born in 1990, Jessie Stevens came as a pear, rolling out of her mother's vaginal canal 20 minutes after her twin sister, Claire. It was there that she decided this was bullshit. She wasn't even the main character of her own birth. She wanted one thing and one thing only: attention. 2 years later, her twin brothers came along, confirming the family's status as a freak show.
Kids, we're eating dinner tonight! Come on, Tiffany, Heather, Cody, Dylan, Dermot, Jordan, Taylor.
Jessie's teen years were spent public speaking and debating, and when she didn't win, which mostly she didn't, she lamented the fact the competition appeared to be corrupt and run by a bunch of cheats. Upon leaving school, Jessie went to a place called university, which she's had to describe in great detail to her future co-hosts, Holly and Mia. In fact, she left with a master's degree, pulling her weight when it comes to the academic credentials of the podcast. Then, at 25, while still living at home, Jessie met Mia and Holly for a job interview. She was terrified of them both. A year later, Jessie was pulled into a podcast studio by an impulsive Mia Freedman who felt the show needed some young blood. Jessie thought this sounded like a good way to get some attention. Jessie tried too hard and couldn't stop using the word problematic. To this day, she's banned from using it. And then one day, the show needed a new host. Talent was trialled, nothing was quite right, until Holly's signature hello, hello echoed through the office and Mia knew. Yes, what Mamamia Out Loud needed was this chatty Manchurian with her hyper-focus on the royal family despite being a Republican and her encyclopedic knowledge of early noughties celebrities. That was 2017. From there came their self-proclaimed meteoric rise, an overnight sensation that took almost a decade. They went from once to 3 times a week, a decision they'd come to regret because they're f***ing tired. But through pregnancies and tree changes and perimenopause and global pandemics and weddings and grandchildren and books and television shows, they did the only thing they knew how to do. They talked. They talked their way to number one.